Hey guys, it's Brie. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you my full coverage foundation routine using mainly drugstore items. I also filmed this eye look and that will be up next. Ever since I had my daughter, I have had some pretty bad breakouts, so this is kind of how I do a full coverage. As you can see, it doesn't cover everything, but it's hard to cover literally every single thing on your face. So this is how I get full coverage using almost all drugstore items. So if you want to see how I covered my face, just keep watching. Okay, so as always, start off with a fresh face that is washed and moisturized. I'm going to go in with my Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. And I mainly concentrate this on my cheeks and around my nose. Also a little bit in my T-zone and on my chin. That's where most of my pores are concentrated. Foundation that I really enjoy is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. I am in the shade Creamy Vanilla. I like to use a beauty sponge, so I'm going to go in with my new Eco Tools sponge. I like to put one pump on it, and if I need more coverage, then I will add more. The desired amount of coverage that you want from your foundation, then I go in with a concealer. I am going to use the Tarte Shape Tape concealer. This is in the shade Fair. If I have any really noticeable pimples, I'll go in with a little bit of a darker concealer and just kind of cover those up. The little Eco Tools sponge and just blend that all out. Have that all blended out. Now it is time to go in with the powder products. I'm going to go in with my Flower Loose Face Powder. This is in the shade L01. I like to get a little bit of the product out, and then I take a clean fluffy brush with those pimples that you're trying to cover up. I just pack them all around it with the powder. And I do this before setting my entire face. Bake. This is my NYC translucent loose face powder, and I like to use the straight edge of this sponge to bake now. So I'm just going to dip that into my powder and bake where I normally would. While my face is baking, that's when I normally like to contour if I'm using a powder contour. If you are using a cream contour, I would do that before adding any powder to the face. But since I am using a powder contour today, I'm just going to do that while my face is baking. I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild contour palette. And I'm just going to take this darker shade on any fluffy brush. A little bit. I like to take a small flat brush. This one has a little bit of an angle to it. And with that same shade, I just like to carve out the nose just a little bit. Once you are done baking, I like to take a big fluffy brush and just dust away and kind of blend out everything. Really intense on the viewfinder, but I promise it doesn't look that harsh. Sometimes you get really bad, like this one and this one right here are really bad that it's hard to cover them up. Same fluffy brush, and I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer. This is Ticket to Brazil, and I'm just going to bronze my face up now just to warm it up a little bit more. I really like this big fluffy brush from Wet n Wild. I think it was only $3, and I love it for bronzer. It's just perfect for bronzing your whole face. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with my L'Oreal True Match blush. This is in the shade Innocent Flush. And just on a small fluffy brush, just add a little bit of colors to the cheeks. Just a little bit of highlight. This is the new Wet n Wild makeup stick, and I tested this out and I felt like it got a little patchy if you apply it straight to your face, so I'm just gonna put it on my finger and blend it out. That way it's a little less patchy. It's a really pretty, like, subtle highlight. My Maybelline Master Fix. This is a wear boosting setting spray. And that is my full coverage foundation routine. I am going to finish up the rest of my face and I will be back. Okay, so I finished up the rest of my face. That is how I do a full coverage foundation routine. I also tried out, if you saw my last video, which was 7 first impressions, I will link that down below. But I did try out that flower powder one more time and it did work pretty good, so I will continue to play around with that too. Make sure if you're new here to hit that subscribe button, and if you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions for videos you want me to do, go ahead and leave me a comment below and I'll be sure to check it out. I will link that if you haven't seen it, but I use, oh my gosh, the Milani Conceal and the coverage that you want on your face. I'm going to go in with my Flower Translucent Face Powder. Oh, this is it. I'm going to, now while my face is baking, that's when I use, now while my face is baking, that's why I, now I'm going to add just a little bit of highlight. This is